show. Our next conversation is something you do not want to miss, speaking about Girls of Impact and their Accelerate Her program. Joining us in studio is the founder and executive director of Girls of Impact Trinidad and Tobago, Renee Atwell. Good morning, Renee.
Hi, good morning. Thanks so much for having me this morning.
It's a pleasure to have you with us on the show, and this is such a refreshing conversation. Before we get into Accelerate Her, let's go back and talk about Girls of Impact. You're the founder. What inspired you to start this?
Yes, so I actually have a history in youth leadership. I actually served as one of Trinidad and Tobago's CARICOM Youth Ambassadors for 3 years, also serving in the capacity as the Dean of the program. So I've worked with several regional organizations on youth development initiatives, as well as young people and youth advocates from across the region. And in my working with them over the years, one of the things I've realized is that a lot of young women, they lack mentorship to be able to help them excel in their professional or entrepreneurial lives. And so I was like, listen, I think that a mentorship-based organization is one of the needs for young women in Trinidad and Tobago, and that's kind of how I started the organization.
That's absolutely beautiful. And what was the feedback when you decided that it was time to create this initiative, this group? What was the feedback like from your support system?
Well, the feedback was actually fantastic. Every time I tell my story about my organization, because the story kind of stems from my experience. I am an attorney at law, and as a first-generation attorney in my family, first person accomplishing that goal, I realized that a lot of young women, they actually are in similar situations where they come from households where they don't necessarily have the support to propel them to get into the field that they want to get into. They don't know what to study, where to go, where to find resources. And so my support system was like, this is actually an excellent opportunity, because you will have a lot of young women who would be in your similar situation who would benefit from the support and resources that an organization like Girls of Impact seeks to provide. And so that is essentially how we kind of got it off the ground.
Absolutely beautiful. So let's speak about this initiative, Accelerate Her Summer Mentorship Program. Definitely, as you would have mentioned, some of the objectives, and I'm assuming what's close to your heart, this is going to do just that. What inspired the program particularly?
Yes. So the Accelerate Her Summer Mentorship Program, this is actually the second time around that we're having the program. My team is, an excellent team. We have professionals from various areas. And so one of the things we decided to do is to equip young women with mentorship, but also workshops that will help to enhance them personally and professionally. And so we decided we will create this holistic development workshop or program that will cater to the needs of young women who are finishing secondary school, in tertiary studies, or who are young professionals as well. And so that is essentially what kind of got us off the ground and Accelerate. So it's really a program to accelerate a young woman as she enters into her professional life, or even if she's an entry-level professional, to kind of propel her, whether she wants to achieve a promotion or she wants to transition into a new field. This program seeks to help her develop the skills that she would need to be successful personally and professionally.
Definitely a transformational program. Now, you did share the ages of 15 to tertiary 30.
Yes.
Right? Okay, so who can apply? Now, is there any particular criteria that needs to be met?
Well, we currently have over 100 applications in, and we only have 50 spots for the program. Oh. So I know that my team will have a very difficult time selecting participants, because as you can see, it's a need that needs to be met, and that's why we have so many persons applying to the program. But we look at a number of different factors, because of course we want to make sure we have persons equally distributed across the age range, because of course 15 to 30 is a large age group. Yeah. We want to make sure we have persons who are from secondary school, persons from tertiary, as well as young professionals, as well as we are looking for young women who really need the mentorship, because of course you will have young women apply for the program who have already benefited from programs such as this. We want to really make sure we kind of target those who really need that guidance, those who don't have the resources and need assistance getting into a particular area or industry. So how the program kind of works is that we try to match mentees with a mentor in their interested industry area. So for example, you might have a young woman who wants to get into accounting. We would match her with an experienced accountant.
Okay.
Right, so that is kind of how the program works. So those are a number of the factors we look at. We look at the age, we look at the background, education, and what industry they want to get into. And of course, we have a short area in our application form where we ask about motivation. So why do you want to get into the program is perhaps one of the most important things that the team will look at, because we want young women who are really passionate about being better in their personal and professional lives.
This is definitely a beautiful program, and well needed as well within the Society of Trinidad and Tobago. Now, how many mentors are involved? Because you said 50 mentees.
Yes.
But how many mentors are involved, and have you selected them?
We are in the process of selecting mentors. We are looking at about 12 to 15 mentors because the program offers small group mentorship. So it's not one-on-one. So far from gauging the applications coming in, of course, you will see a trend in terms of you will see a subgroup of young women who are applying for accounting, subgroup of young women applying for law, etc., as the case might be. So we will group them into those categories. So you would likely have, let's say, about 5 mentees per mentor on average, and they will be grouped according, of course, to the industry. So those 5 mentees will either be interested in, let's say, engineering, creative arts, fashion and beauty, and that's how we will basically group the mentees. So we're looking at about 12 to 15 mentors. We are still in the process of selecting them. We utilized our LinkedIn platform mainly to attract mentors because, of course, we are looking for experience level professionals. We're looking at approximately 7 years minimum experience in your particular industry. And of course, there's a form for them to fill out as well. We do our due diligence on our part, so they have to submit a character reference, as well as we have interviews with our mentors just to make sure that they are suitable for our program as well.
Now, I love the fact that you mentioned the due diligence as well as you mentioned the amount of experience that you're looking for, because of course we want these young ladies to be able to sit with those who have been through, let's say for once, best expression, ropes of the different industries. Now, you mentioned that this is the second one. Did you see perhaps more interest towards one field from the young ladies in your first installment that made you say, all right, this is a field that we need to particularly focus on in our second installment?
Well, in our first installment, the program was strictly online because we had that program, I think, in 2022, where we were still kind of recovering from the pandemic and we were not having as much in-person events generally. But for our first installment, what we did not get to do is really place young women in their particular area of industry. So we just matched them with mentors for general guidance. So we decided, because of course we did some M&E and we got feedback from participants. So every cohort will always be better because we're building on the suggestions that they would have made. And so they said, listen, I really want somebody in my field, because if I want to be a lawyer, you know, somebody who is not a lawyer may not really be able to tell me, okay, I need to do my LLB, my LEC, etc., as the case might be. So that's why in this cohort now we are trying to match them with someone who that in the industry that they actually want to get into, so that they could benefit fully from that mentorship process.
Well, it's beautiful to see that it continues to grow, and with every cohort it's definitely going to get better. So hats off to you and your entire team for bringing these mentors to the forefront and of course engaging these young ladies as well. Let's speak about some of the key components of the Accelerate Her program. What can participants expect over 10 weeks?
Yes, so it's really a 2-tiered program. One of the tiers is the small group mentorship, where they will meet with their mentors over the course of 10 weeks. And we have a second component, which is our career workshops, because we decided that in addition to just receiving mentorship, these young women need to be equipped with different skills in order to succeed in their professional lives. So we're going to be having workshops on things like how to write a CV, how to develop interview skills, personal branding for professional women, things like networking, and various other areas that will help to develop them professionally, so that when they enter into their career, they not only have the mentorship of what to do, where should I go, but they are well equipped to apply for jobs, get promotions, know how to network, know workplace etiquette, things like that will help them to be the best professional woman that they can be.
It's beautiful that you mentioned specifically the CV part of it, because one of the things that I'm sure you've noticed as well as you mentioned LinkedIn is the fact that there are many different platforms and apps that are saying, all right, well, we're going to teach you, or we're going to actually modify your CV for certain things. So it's definitely a skill set that is lacking that we need to invest in. So wonderful that you've paid keen attention to that, because of course it's going to filter down into all industries and bring those out who need it. One of the things that I've noticed when it comes to businesses, because of that simple skill of not necessarily knowing how to tailor your CV, it can take you out of being in the running for a job. So that's excellent. Now, what about the involvement of local businesses and Girls of Impact, Accelerate Her? Do you have that relationship, and what if people would like to be involved?
Yes, of course, we do invite collaborations from various local businesses who would like to be interested in our program. And of course, involvement could be in many different ways. Of course, we have the opportunity to be a sponsor for the program. We also have opportunities for speaking engagements, as well as to actually offer mentors for the program, because of course, we would have persons who are involved in local businesses and companies who have a wealth of experience that they want to share with our mentees, where they can actually apply to be a mentor or be a speaker at one of our career workshops workshops. So, for example, you might have an HR professional who wants to come and do a session on how to write a CV. We are always open to collaborating with professionals and local businesses in many of those ways, and they can contact us on our website, which is girlsofimpact.org.
Wonderful. What impact do you hope to see from the Accelerate Her program?
Well, we are really hoping to build a cadre of young women who can be better positioned for the workplace. Because, of course, many of the things that you highlighted are so critical. We hear employers commenting on that lack of young people generally being able to write a CV and being able to interview. They think that young professionals are lacking in those areas. So our program really hopes to build up young women in that particular way and develop them into being young leaders in their respective communities, whether that be in the school, in the workplace, or even within their local communities where they can actually make a difference. Because, of course, another component of our program is a community impact project. Because, of course, we believe that young women should be equipped to be leaders in their various spheres, and so we are hoping that we are able to create that level of impact within them so that they can go out into their communities and create further impact.
Tell us, what's the future of Girls of Impact? Because I'm sure that you have a lot upcoming.
Yes. So for right now, we just have two main programs, which is our Accelerate Her program, and we also have an Empower Her program, which is a rural girls program for the organization. And we're still small and fairly new. We're 2 years old, so we are building up as time progresses. But we're really hoping that we are able to continue reaching young women in different facets within Trinidad and Tobago. For right now, most of our operations are based in Trinidad, but we're also hoping to expand to our sister isle as well, just so that young women, they are able to be equipped and empowered to be the best version of themselves that they can be.
Wonderful. Now, as you mentioned expansion, what about those who may be interested in getting involved with Girls of Impact? Are the doors open for that, and how can they get involved? And maybe what are you looking for those who are willing to assist?
Yes. So, of course, we have various opportunities that we post on our social media. So that's a good place to probably start. We are on Facebook, Instagram, as well as LinkedIn. Instagram, it's Girls of Impact 868. LinkedIn and Facebook, it's Girls of Impact TNT. We are looking for persons to join our team and volunteer. We have temporary volunteers as well as persons to serve on our team because, of course, we have a board of directors as well as a management team for the organization. And we look for persons with various skill sets: project management, communication, social media, fundraising. We just looking for people who are willing to volunteer. Of course, it's not full-time. All of our team members are fully employed. So just to give back, it's a good way to give back if you are passionate about making a difference in the lives of young people generally. And we would highly recommend engaging with us, telling us in what capacity you would like to assist, and we will definitely keep in touch with you and make space for you to contribute.
Excellent. Renee, I'd like to take you back to a little bit before in our conversation. One of the things you mentioned is the first cohort of Accelerate Her was online in 2022. But now, of course, we've assimilated, let's say, to say the least. This is going to be a hybrid, correct?
Yes.
So how exactly is this hybrid format going to work for these young ladies?
Okay, so we're going to have about 3 to 4 in-person sessions. Our venue is still to be confirmed, but so our in-person sessions will be on Saturdays because we want everybody to be able to participate in our program. So none of our sessions will be held during work or school hours because we understand that young women are dealing with being in jobs as well as being in school. So our mentorship will happen on evenings during the week, and we'll also have some career workshops online during the week on evenings as well. And our in-person sessions will be reserved for Saturday mornings.
Wonderful. Now, Renee, you mentioned at the beginning, of course, a little bit of your background and how you started Impact for Her, what inspired you. Do you have any words of wisdom for young ladies out there who are aspiring to sit where you are and do things that you've done?
Most definitely. I would say to just be determined and work hard. There is nothing without hard work to accomplish what you want to accomplish. But also, I think that mentors and mentorship is very important because I have been able to benefit from the guidance and advice of many experienced professionals in my life that have gotten me to where I am today. And so I think that with hard work and getting the correct guidance and advice, you can accomplish anything that you put your mind to.
Beautifully said, Renee. Thank you so much for joining us, and all the best with Accelerate Her and Girls of Impact as well, because I know that you'll be making some movements in society.
Thank you so much.
Renee Atwell, founder and executive director of Girls of Impact, presents, of course, Accelerate Her happening this summer, so make sure that you check it out and stay tuned because the Now Morning Show has some more for you coming up after this.
Girls, 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 girls. Carnival is girls, 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 girls. Sexy girls, Carnival is girls, girls, girls.